Up with KREM begins now.
Anti-ICE protesters clashed with police in downtown Spokane. More than 30 people were arrested for failing to disperse. Spokane Mayor Lisa Brown declaring a state of emergency, putting parts of the area under a curfew that was lifted earlier this morning. Good morning, I'm Tim Pham. We'll have more coverage of the aftermath of the protest in just a few minutes.
And I'm Nicole Hernandez. First, though, we want to get you out the door with weather and traffic. So, Thomas, how's the haze looking this morning?
Yeah, it's still a little bit hazy outside. It still smells a little bit smoky. Certainly was the most noteworthy thing for people early on this morning. But that air quality is improving and will continue to do so for the rest of the day today for a couple reasons. One, that is typical of the summer season to have some of that wildfire smoke and the particles in the air actually thin out through the heat of the day. And two, it's actually a plume of smoke that's just going to pass by the inland northwest. So our air quality has now improved into the moderate stage as of this morning and will continue to get a little bit better hour after hour. Currently at 60 degrees, I think we'll end up in the low 80s for this afternoon, so very temperate, and once that smoky smell goes away, should be an absolutely excellent afternoon weather-wise.
And taking a look at I-90 in Freya this morning, it is 8:02 now, and things actually looking pretty smooth. This time of morning, sometimes we can see a little bit more backup heading westbound into downtown Spokane. Seems like things aren't too bad at this point. No major backups, traffic, or crashes to speak of yet. If we see any of that change, we'll of course bring you an update. Back to yesterday's protests. They started early yesterday evening outside the Spokane ICE office. Former Spokane Councilmember Ben Stuckert posted on Facebook asking people to show up. He is the legal guardian of a 21-year-old Venezuelan man who is here seeking asylum. Stuckert says the 21-year-old had filed paperwork for asylum and was at the ICE office for a check-in when officers detained him and his friend. Protesters sat in front of an ICE bus for hours to stop it from leaving. At about 7 o'clock last night, more people showed up downtown for a planned protest and joined in at the ICE office.
Not long after that, Spokane police arrived on scene. And KREM 2's Christian Garza joining us now live this morning. Christian, you're at the aftermath of where this protest was yesterday. You know, you saw the folks cleaning up. Did you find out, was that a volunteer or who was cleaning up this morning?
Yeah, good morning, Tim and Nicole. So I am here on Cataldo, right in front of the ICE office, where the events really started at 2:30 yesterday afternoon. Like you mentioned earlier, we've been here all morning long. So for the past couple hours, we saw the cleanup of the aftermath. There was a bunch of water bottles, there was signs, there was chalk on the ground, but Homeland Security actually started cleaning that up around 6 o'clock. So all of that is pretty much gone. You can still see some chalk art in the intersection of North River Drive and Washington down there, but really around the office and where the protest actually happened, it's pretty clean here, to say the least. But like you mentioned, at 7 p.m. everything really erupted here in downtown Spokane. There was around 30 arrests that were made during that protest, mostly for misdemeanors like pedestrian interference and damage. The Spokane Police Department used pepper balls and smoke to get people out of that area at around 8 p.m. last night. Now, Police Chief Kevin Hall says that sort of method was necessary because people here and the protesters here would not leave the area like they were instructed to multiple times throughout yesterday. Now, like you mentioned, the protest itself has to do with ICE detentions, and while the city did not negotiate with ICE directly, leaders wanted to make it known that they were doing everything in their power to keep both protesters and law enforcement safe during yesterday's protests.
I made it clear in my public statement, as well as to Mr. Stuckert, that Spokane Police Department would remain in compliance with the Keep Washington Working Act, that they would endeavor to keep the peace, and that they would enforce Spokane laws. The city of Spokane has a commitment to upholding First Amendment rights. We believe in the right of peaceful protest. and the safety of our community members is always of the utmost importance.
Mayor Brown decided to set the curfew as the ground crew and tensions escalated throughout the afternoon and evening. Specifically, she stated that as the evening progressed, as the crowd grew, the crowd resisted and several orders to disperse. And throughout the press conference, the mayor explained that she wanted to give both protesters and community members ample time to let people leave the area and ensure people could safely exit the soccer game. The curfew was kind of in the Spokane Falls Boulevard area at Boone and Howard. It was in effect at 9:30 p.m. and went until 5 a.m. this morning, with exceptions for like traveling to and from work. So Christian was reporting there live for us this morning. The curfew now over after this situation yesterday.
Now, we do want to get to some information from Spokane Police from last night, because they also, held a press conference.
Yeah, they say they had more than 185 officers at the protest.
SPD says they arrested more than 30 protesters, mostly for misdemeanors. As you can see, officers were dispersing something into the crowds. SPD says that was inert smoke, not tear gas, but they were using pepper balls. Officers were shooting pepper balls at the ground and people's feet. When those hit, they disperse a lot like pepper spray. We also asked SPD about some injuries protesters had. They said, though, officers did not shoot any rubber bullets.
And we only did that because the crowd refused to move back after multiple requests to move back and give space for the officers to work.
One question circulating was why officers were in tactical gear and if that was necessary. SPD said when the protest started, officers showed up in their normal uniforms, and then they say it was not until things escalated that they sent in all of the city and county tactical units. They also had help from Kootenai County SWAT.
While these protests were going on, there was a Spokane Velocity game happening right nearby. Our Andrew Quinn was able to capture these pictures here of the smoke going into the stadium. The smoke filled the stadium twice, but the games never had to stop. And like we mentioned, this started with former council member Ben Stuckert posting on Facebook. Officers arrested him during the protests last night. This morning, the Spokane County Jail roster says he has been released. Coming up in our next half hour, we will share more information from the press conference the mayor held last night.
Meantime, in Western Washington, that's what started as a rally at Cal Anderson Park against immigration raids moved downtown. Initially, it was peaceful, but that march quickly escalated. Seattle police say people were throwing rocks, bottles, and fireworks at officers. After the firework was thrown, that's when they ordered the crowd to disperse. We know a dumpster was set on fire, and Seattle police deployed flashbangs. Overnight, they made 8 arrests. Developing this morning, the Chelan County Sheriff's Office held a news conference in Wenatchee as the manhunt continues for Travis Decker. He's accused of killing his 3 young daughters, Olivia, Peyton, and Evelyn. Regan Gallo has the latest updates from law enforcement.
Well, the Chelan County Sheriff's Office has at this time not found Travis Decker, and now the Sheriff's Office plans to deviate resources back to the investigation at the prosecutor's office to ensure the case for murder and kidnapping is ready to be presented. However, Chelan authorities will continue to partner with U.S. Customs and Border Patrol and will keep boots on the ground conducting the search and navigating complex terrain across the west part of Chelan County. Sheriff Mike Morrison stated this afternoon that they have not given up, but they understand resources start to tire out, and their teams across different levels of law enforcement are stressed. Now, he says a change of tactics will be seen going forward. He noted they are awaiting for that one mistake Travis Decker will make.
And making it very clear that every single day Travis is out there, he's going to have to aim for perfection. He's not going to be able to make a mistake, because all we need is one mistake and one day to go in our favor, and he's going to be in our custody. So I hope he's watching. I hope he knows that we haven't given up, but you got to be perfect every single day, Travis.
Yesterday, a hiking group tipped off authorities that a lone hiker was spotted along off trail. Reports describe the hiker did not look prepared for the conditions of the enchantments and did not want to be around other people. This led to a helicopter search when a hiker was spotted who allegedly matched the description of Decker, but the lone hiker ran away. This all took place within 15 miles of the campground of where the girls were found. Now, law enforcement says for communities who live near Blewett Pass to be extra vigilant. If they see something strange or unusual, then say something. We will, of course, continue to update our viewers as we receive more information. I'm reporting in the newsroom, Regan Gallo, KREM 2 News.
For more live coverage and updates on the search for Travis Decker, be sure to download KREM 2 Plus.
Time is now 8:11 as we take another look at our weather forecast. This morning we did start out with a bit of light rain over our far northern areas, but even that disturbance has already crossed mainly into Canada and Montana as of this morning. You can see the general flow of the atmosphere here basically towards the north and east. So skies have cleared out quickly. We just need the air quality to follow suit as well. And not to worry, any kind of wildfire smoke that is lingering should also pass by in that direction. So mostly sunny skies will remain for today. And as long as the air quality improves, we're in for an honestly pretty comfortable June afternoon with high temperatures in the low 80s.